But first, so many polls tonight and detail you haven't heard anywhere else. Our old mate Grim Jim, the great passenger of the Australian economy. You see, there is a difference between a windsock and the pilot of a plane. Which one would you actually give the trust over to? Probably not the windsock, but that, of course, is Grim Jim. He's the one saying, well, I feel your pain, a little bit up, a little bit down, but always, I deserve congratulations. Last week, the disgraceful display of trying to change the subject for their own failure as politicians and members and guardians of our own society when he was bashing away at the Reserve Bank. Now, this worked with Philip Lowe. It won't work a second time around. Even the former Treasurer and old Grim Jim's former boss, Wayne Swan, got in on it. And quite correctly, the Oz referred to that as a coward punch to the RBA head. The RBA has been in the sights of the government because if there is a 13th interest rate rise, supposedly that will be the tipping point. My belief is politically, if cost of living matters, the 12th, the 11th, the 10th, the 9th, the 8th have all put the Prime Minister and the Labor Party on very serious notice, if not right at the end of the plank. But this was the Labor Party trying to change the subject, most of the media following along.
The combination of global economic uncertainty and higher interest rates is smashing household budgets and slowing our economy considerably.
Treasurer's comments were absolutely nothing new.
The Reserve Bank is putting economic dogma over rational economic decision-making, hammering households, hammering mums and dads with higher rates, causing a collapse in spending and driving the economy backwards.
But God love Australia. God love the fellow normal people of this joint because, well, I don't know what's going to happen in an election. We needed to send a message. The message that we have been relentless about and at times feeling like a little bit of a lone soldier over the past 2 and a bit years. We knew about cost of living being major and we knew that inflation was out of control. We knew inflation was out of control in part because of the actions of this government. Well, a poll that dropped tonight has shown that the majority of Australians blame the government and its Treasurer, Grim Jim Chalmers, not the Reserve Bank. Have a look. This comes from the far right-wing annals of the Channel 9 newspapers. 51% of all voters say, in relation to the question of who do you think has greatest responsibility for keeping inflation down, the government, 51%. For Labor voters, the majority of them, 42%, say the government. For coalition voters, the majority, by a mile, 63% say the government. For other voters, everything from the touchy-teals all the way through to One Nation and UAP and anything else in between, 48%. Uncommitted, undecided voters, again, about 50% at 49%, and the seats that matter the most, 50%. You see, one of the ways that we have slowly but surely sort of got to where we've got about how I do this show each and every night for you is, yes, we have to talk about the stuff that is obviously large in the news. Yes, we have to point out some of the things that we think are examples of people pulling the wool over your eyes. And sometimes we're relentless on a particular topic because it feels like the topic that should be the total, absolute ram focus, well, there's an entire industry of people who want to protect this government, protect its electoral chances and want to change the subject. Now, obviously, the people in the government want to change the subject, but it's incredible how many people in the media are more than happy to try to change the subject because they don't experience the cost of living issues that you do. And even if they are feeling a little tougher than they did a little while ago, you couldn't possibly get rid of the greatest government of all time. I mean, after all, these were the people who almost 60% of Australians, according to a poll in The Guardian, sorry, a Redbridge poll, my apologies, said they couldn't name one thing this government has done to make their life better. Almost 60% of people. Now, let's slow down. Let's have a look at, again, more of these numbers because, again, all of this will be brushed away. There'll be some dramatic change of the subject that'll happen between now and when the sun comes up. I couldn't believe today, there's an ad attacking Peter Dutton. Who cares? Who cares? That's the Labor Party trying to change the subject. And just on that nuclear thing, $600 billion. This mob, according to the CSIRO, want to spend $1 trillion on changing the power system. So just don't fall for it. Let the lefties do it, not us, all right? We continue. When I say us, I mean this program. Now, interesting here, again, about the cost of living low, keeping cost of living low. You can tell I don't have my glasses. The Liberal Party leads the Labor Party by 7 points. Now, remember, what was the promise at the last election? Oh, vote Labor, everything goes down. Well, now that's gone. It's now the Libs who most people believe in that situation. However, there's a significant number of undecided people. That's because they know that the Labor Party so-called solutions aren't good enough, but the Liberal Party has not put enough solutions on the table. They need to start doing it to actually convert people from sort of, I'm not all that into it, to actually fully making the change and being willing to change the government. Now, again, all the evidence says this is not a one-term government, but it could be. It could be if some of these other numbers are true. When it comes to overall economic management, you can see 37 to 26, 11-point lead for the Liberals right now. Managing the finances of the government, again, an 11-point lead of the Liberal Party over the Labor Party. Things have been cracking for a while. They have been crumbling for the past little while, and I'm pleased to say people are now willing to tell a pollster, and that pollster presumably will tell a politician.